I am now creating weekly exclusive content for Patreon, so if you are interested in that, go check out the link down below. And of course, if you want to avoid the random lottery of FIFA points, you want to go straight to the source, buy the players directly, use u7buy.com and use the code TVM at checkout. What is going on, guys? Tim here. Welcome back to another episode of the Norwich City career mode. Did you just see what I just saw? Let's go back and have a look at that. Jordan Henderson has gone to Barcelona for £40 million. And Keane has gone to Villarreal for 20 million, which is a little bit weird. Depay has gone to Dortmund and Kyle Walker has gone to PSG. Kyle Walker to PSG isn't actually an unrealistic transfer. They've already got João Cancelo. I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle Walker were to move on in real life. But Depay to Dortmund, again, I could probably see that happening. Henderson to Barca, not so much. We're about to take on Bournemouth. I'm going to do this without face cam. I apologise for those who like my face, but you're in the minority. You've been outvoted. Bournemouth currently lie rooted. Well, no, that's the wrong word. Joint is a better word. Bottom of the table with Burnley. Doesn't look very good for them, does it? And of course, we are currently in 9th. We have double the points and then some of Bournemouth. I'm not concerned about getting relegated at this stage. You know, it would take an awful lot of bad luck, I think, for us to be relegated. We need to pick up... I said yesterday we need 12 points. In actual fact, that's not mathematical, but I would assume 6 points would probably be enough. 12 would be nice, but I think 6 is probably going to be enough to survive, actually. But we'll keep plugging away. Not going to stop as soon as we hit, the magic 40 or anything. We'll keep going. We'll play and win as many games as we can. It's not likely that we're going to catch Everton, but stranger things have happened. Now, without any further ado, let's get into the game against Bournemouth. Here we go then. We are home, Carrow Road, the home of football, as it were. Or maybe not. But either way, Norwich against Bournemouth. We'll take a very quick look at the starting lineups. So this is Bournemouth's lineup then. Maxime Lopez, who has come from Marseille. That is a big signing for them. I'm not sure he's like that quote-unquote high rated, but he is still a very good player in real life. I actually rate him quite highly. I think he'll be really good in 2 or 3 years' time. That wasn't the starting lineup, incidentally. That's about to come in a second. Here we go. So we'll start with our one. It is a changed side. Krull in goal. Back 4 remains the same. That never changes unless we're in a cup. Rupp comes in for Cyprian because he's a bit tired. Cantwell comes in for Buendia. Gilmore comes in for Duda. And of course, Greenwood and Barco, the 2 players who are going to be playing up front for us. I know we start in a 4-2-3-1, but as you know, we do switch into that 4-1-2-2 pretty much as soon as kickoff happens. And the Bournemouth lineup looks like this. Boruc in goal. Daniels, Francis, Mepham and Smith in defence. Jordan Ibe, Billing, Maxime Lopez, Gosling and Stanislas with Callum Wilson. A player who we could potentially be going after in the window. Diego Llorente on the bench as well. So Bournemouth have been busy. Ball up the line. Good ball to Rupp. Doesn't really have the pace that I want. Cantwell. Barco, nope, apparently Greenwood wants it instead. Lovely little step overs. Well, that is poor. And you know what is poor? The game. Because Gilmore's run was brilliant. I went to pass it, and as soon as I powered up the pass, Gilmore stopped his run and decided to go around the other side, which was stupid. Didn't make any sense whatsoever. And that is FIFA in a nutshell. When it works, it's fine. But you press buttons, nothing happens. The ball doesn't go where you want it to. It's just horrific. That should have been a free kick. I was going to stop for the advantage, but you know what this game is like. They won't give it to me. Hello, ball across. Got to be a goal. No, it's a terrible ball across from Rupp. We are having a period of sustained pressure here. We're knocking it about quite nicely. Gilmore, Cantwell. Tried to give it back to Barco. Gilmore back into Sangar. Sometimes you've got to go backwards to go forwards. Here we go with Gilmore. I tried to drag back. As soon as he had the ball, I was trying to do a drag back, and he just wouldn't move. Nice interception from Sangar. Gilmore gets the ball out to Rupp, and that's half-time. Well, what a boring first half of football. No pass. I can remember that one pass went to where I wanted it to go. it wasn't particularly good, I won't lie to you. Here's Gilmore. Oh, it's not where I wanted it at all. That's not what I wanted it either. What is this game? There we go. Cantwell, 14 passes after I tried to give it to him the first time. Greenwood still got it somehow. Here's Barco. Drag back and a ball in. No. The drag backs, I mean, we've got a free kick, and I'm going to try and bring Cyprian on for the free kick. The drag backs in career mode are horrific. I don't know whether it's because I'm effectively playing with 72 and 75 rated players. I really couldn't tell you, but they just take ages to perform them. And then when you press pass, they take ages to actually perform the pass as well. It is starting to really grate on me. Rupp is off. Cyprian is on. They are making a sub as well. Maxime Lopez, arguably their best player, off for Jefferson Lerma, who in my opinion is more of a defence-minded player, but there we go. Here's Cyprian. First kick of the game for him. Can he score from a free kick? No is the answer. It wasn't a very good free kick. Jordan Ibe. Well, I was going to say Jordan Ibe has lost it. Godfrey has made a very important challenge there. Callum Wilson's first effort is only his second touch of the game, I think. But the really frustrating thing about that was, I believe, we won the ball. Here's Mepham on the edge. It's a terrible effort from him, and it's a goal kick. Here's Gilmore. I don't think we've had a shot all game. And that's terrible from Barco, but he still got it somehow. Can he get the ball back again? It's beautiful. Can he score? He can. It's completely against the run of play, really. I mean, well, maybe that's the wrong way of saying it, but I don't feel like we've deserved a goal. I don't feel like they've deserved a goal. It's been one of the most boring games in the series so far. It was a good bit of football. Duda is so creative in that cam spot. He comes on and he does stuff that Buendia and Cantwell just don't do. Bournemouth pressurising. They need to put that ball into the box. They have done. It's defended by Aarons. Duda gets it out, and that, my friends, is game over. We have beaten Bournemouth at home 1-0 in what is, I mean, it's literally the most boring game since we played Aston Villa. That was a really dull game. I think that finished, did that finish 0-0 or was it 1-1? I think it was 0-0. No, Grealish scored. I think it finished 1-1. We have 31 points now. I'm not too concerned about catching Everton. I'd be happy to finish 9th, as I say. But it does mean that by my estimation, we're only really 9 points away from absolute safety and probably another 3 points away from realistic safety. Next up on the agenda, Spurs. So the Spurs man to look out for, we know this because the last time we played them, we beat them. But Harry Kane scored first. He drew first blood, and there he is. He knows exactly what he needs to do today. We know exactly what we need to do to stop him. Mourinho out for blood because the last time we played, of course, we did beat them 2-1. We scored twice in 8 minutes to cancel out Harry Kane's goal and to take all 3 points. I'm not as confident this time, even though I feel like we have the better team. We are all fully fit. You will see the lineup in just a second, but they've strengthened. I don't know whether you caught a glimpse then, but Kimpembe is now in their defence. He wasn't when we played them first time round, so that's not going to go down well for our strikers, who have been a little bit goal shy recently. Here is the lineup. Gazaniga in goal, Foyth, Upamecano and Kimpembe in defence with Benjamin Mendy at left back, Lo Celso, Sissoko, Lucas Moura, Dele Alli, Heung-min Son, and of course the danger man Harry Kane. On the bench, and Ndombele, as well as Lamela and a couple of other players to take note of as well. Our lineup, a little bit changed. Tim Krul, defence is exactly the same. Not going to read out the names because it's basically the same every time. Cyprian comes back into the middle with Sangar. Cantwell, Duda replaces Gilmore. Barco on the left, and of course Greenwood up front. I say that. Of course, we do switch into that 4-1-2-2, and Gilmore is on the bench. Dele Alli brings the ball forward. Loops over the top. Lewis can deal with it. Here's Sangar. We're going to have to rely on the overlapping run here. Cantwell cuts back inside. There's Duda. Greenwood back into Duda. Can he get there before the defender? No, Sissoko does really well. And Son can't quite keep that in. Ball thrown down here to Cantwell. Little touch from Duda. There's the creativity coming through. Barco gets it back to Duda somehow. Didn't think it was going to do it, but he does. And can Greenwood turn his man here? He can. He's on his feet still. Can he drill it across? He can. Duda. Oh, well, Duda took a touch. I tried to get him to shoot first time. He took the touch with his left. I don't think he knew too much about it, to be fair. But we've started much brighter than we did against Bournemouth. But it's still a Spurs ball here. There we go. Finally out. That's poor. That's really poor. Lucas, all they have to do is play it inside, and Lucas has clipped the outside of the post. I think Tim Krul might have got a touch on it before it hit the post. Let's take a look. Lucas with an effort with the left. Oh, he didn't even hit the post. Tim Krul's made a very good save there. Little back heel to Cyprian. Here's Greenwood, who's been quiet last 2 games. Since the Man United fixture, actually. Ball played up here to Cyprian. Can Cyprian drill one across? It's an easy catch for Gazzaniga. We do need to be making a lot more of that opportunity there. Good ball out there for Aarons. Cantwell. Duda. Greenwood. Barco. Back to Greenwood. That's good. First bit of interplay between those two for a long time. Greenwood's hit the bar. That was a fantastic effort. That's Greenwood's first shot on goal for nearly 3 games. Well, Cyprian's tried to stop it from happening. Tim Krul has stopped the ball from going in the back of the net. Lo Celso trying to win it back again. Comes in for Dele Alli, who, let's be honest, has had an absolute mare there. And that is the game. Well, there was a very frustrating moment in there that unfortunately I can't show you because I started swearing a lot and, you know, demonetization and all that good stuff. Basically, I was running forward with, I think it was Buendia, wanted to play the ball, or it might have been Sangar actually. I tried to play the ball to my right where Greenwood was wide open and the ball literally went to the left and it was intercepted because the people on the left were marked and I would never have done that. I went to Greenwood. And that put me in a really bad mood for the sort of remaining 10 minutes or so of the game. It might have even been less than that. But either way, the game is so infuriating when that happens. 2 games and only 1 goal to show. I can only apologise, but that's just the way it goes. We have picked up a point against Spurs, though. They failed to beat us on 2 occasions. We have already secured a transfer for Timo Pukki. He is currently in contract negotiations with Porto. But Real Betis have just come in. I'm going to negotiate this and see if we can get at least 10.5, if not maybe even 11, and hope that he goes to Real Betis instead of Porto. So we're about to submit the counter offer for 11 million, and his reaction is, okay, you have a deal, 11 million price tag you've set. So we might have been able to get a little bit more than that, but that's okay. So if he goes to Porto, 10.5 million. If he goes to Real Betis, 11 million. Let's hope he goes to Real Betis. Can't do an awful lot about that now. If this were Football Manager, I would now be able to cancel the Porto transfer and he would therefore go to Real Betis if he could agree terms, of course. So as we go into the game against Everton, I'm not going to dwell on it too much. There were a few things that happened. There are a couple of highlights to show you, a few opportunities for Everton when they went forward. Maybe a couple of chances that they probably should have put away. But we were good enough on the day. Hernandez scored what was a very, very good effort from outside the area. This might not be in sync, by the way, because I'm just doing this briefly after I finished the whole episode. But Hernandez also missed an absolute sitter to seal the game. Now, we did go on to win 1-0. We are, of course, through to the next round of the FA Cup, which is really nice to see. However, it would have been so much more convincing had Hernandez put that sitter away. But it is what it is. We are through to the next round, and we're through into the final few hours of the transfer window. Shopping complete, and I have highlighted 2 targets. Zaniolo isn't really a target. That's going to be someone that we maybe look to bring in next season. But this season, right now, on deadline day, I'm looking at these 2 players right here. Now, the first of which, the one that I'm probably going to go for more than the other, is going to be a player that I can't pronounce the name of. Baronetska? I have no idea how to say that guy's name. I would need to learn. But he can play left wing, right wing, and striker. He has a potential of around 84. He's already 4-star, 4-star. He was in the game at 16. He's now 18, so I'm kind of hoping he's higher than his base 72. Kind of hoping he's around 74, 75 by now. And of course, we can obviously nurture him and play him and build him up with the likes of Billy Gilmore. And that will give us another striking outlet. Now, unfortunately, he's not the best in front of goal just yet, but that could change over time. The other option, and I'm actually tempted to get both if I can afford it, because Jesus, however you say his name, he is American, so we're just going to call him Jesus. Jesus Ferreira He can play, obviously, as a striker, which is nice. Only the 2-star skills, but I don't really use skills against the AI, so that's fine. 4-star weak foot's nice. But he can also play centre mid and cam. So that kind of helps me in many rotation situations. Of course, Duda we have right now. We won't have him next season. He's gone. So we're going to need to replace that. Greenwood is only on loan. Not sure if the loan can ever be recalled. If it can, we would be obviously safeguarded against that. And of course, if worse comes to worse and we do get an injury, at least we're going to have decent amounts of rotation. We do have a few more players in the club we could sell as well. Now, Baronetza, his release clause is 10 million, so we could afford that and get him now, providing we could afford his wage. Ferreira, I forgot. He does have a release clause, but I forgot what it was. I think it's around, 3.6 million. There we go. So I want to just check to see if we can afford to get both, because if we can, then I will. Right, the wage on the table is an unbelievable amount less than I thought it was going to be. I thought this guy was going to want bare minimum 25,000, which would have put a little bit of a strain on the budget for going after Jesus. But I think we will have enough to go after Jesus and get Baronetta in here as well. So I'm going to accept what they say. Not going to try and haggle or anything like that. Don't want to risk the deal falling through. He is now a Norwich City player. Onto the wages, and unbelievably, he wants a little bit more than Baronetta, which is, I mean, I'm okay with it because it's still only 11,000. He wants a fairly large sign-on bonus, which once again is more than Baronetta. I can't remember whether he wanted Baronetta wanted a second bonus and what it was for, but apparently Ferreira wants, after he scores 20 goals, nearly 500,000. I'm gonna try and counter it a little bit. Edit wage and no, edit bonus. I don't care about the wage. You can have the wage. The goal bonus, I will give you 250,000 when you score 20 goals. I'd be okay with that. What do you reckon to that? It's not quite my kind of hoping for. Wait, what? Oh, but he's eager to sign. Wait, is that what it said? I'm so confused. I didn't read it properly. I tried to read it, but it kind of went out the window. Okay, well, we got him. Well, there we go. So, 71 rated, but he does have a potential of 82. And Baronetta's 73, but he does have a potential of about 84, 85. So we do have players that aren't quite like there just yet, but given time, upwards of maybe, I don't know, 6 months or something, they should be up where our current players are, if not even higher. Now, I know what you might be thinking. All you've gone and done is signed attackers. You have too many attackers. Dermich will not be at this club for the start of next season. He is going in the summer. I've needed to wait because he's refused to go because he's only just signed. There are a few other players here like the youngsters. They're not really my cup of tea, so they're all going to go. Every single one of them is going to go. And we'll get a new batch of youngsters going into next season, but we'll get rid of all those. Then, Basogog, I'm hoping, will be gone again by the start of the next transfer, or the next season, sorry. I will try to offload him in the summer. We bought him. He's played a little bit. He's just not been at the races. He's just not good enough. He has improved a fair bit in his defence, but I just don't think he's good enough. Greenwood is only on loan, of course, so we did need permanent players, and I think that these two could be those permanent players. So, I'm going to rearrange the bench and whatnot. We'll probably play them in the next game. Incidentally, the next game is against, I don't know. We'll have to skip through the transfer window to find out. I would be very surprised if we didn't get some offers, actually. But let me just skip through deadline day. We have just passed deadline day, and Basogog has come to me and said, I know you will eventually be looking for a replacement striker, but I think I can fill the role if you give me a chance. Now, we have been giving him sporadic chances, and I'm more than willing to let him play out the rest of the season and give it a go. But at the moment, he isn't really doing it for me. He really is struggling to do anything. Now, Barco is a potential striker because he is a centre forward. So at the moment, I'm feeling that we could be playing the likes of Barco and Baronetta up front. Although Baronetta's shooting does need a lot of work, and we will look to do that in training. But then maybe we could play Ferreira in there as well. But we do have an awful lot of options now, especially in the midfield. I know a lot of it doesn't look like that we have options in midfield, but while Duda's here, we can play him there. Rupp is decent to come in every now and again. Lewis is now a 75 rated player. He can come in. Of course, it was just rotation for the Everton game. Greenwood can go back in for Basogog. And these, I think he'll be on the bench. Hernandez is going as well. I'm going to look to sell Hernandez. Not interested in him. Basogog will get another chance to play. In fact, I'll play Ferreira on the bench because he can play centre mid. So obviously Rupp can and does play centre mid, but now we have Ferreira. So Rupp can maybe be sort of not forced out, but edged out of the club, if you will. And I think that's probably how the team is going to look going into the next game. Maybe. That next game is against Newcastle. Now, Newcastle are 13th right now. I said before, we need 8 points. If we can get 3 here, which realistically we should be able to do, then we'll be very, very close to being safe from relegation, and then just a case of playing out the rest of the season. But that's going to do it for today's bumper episode. If you have enjoyed it, do me a favour and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index. The game changed. Download the app now.